afternoon, happy Monday. Welcome to this week's episode of the Martinez Love Legal Lounge. My name is Kristen Martinez. I am one of the owners of Martinez Love, and I host weekly episodes of the Martinez Love Legal Lounge right here on Facebook Live every Monday at 12 o'clock. This is my opportunity to provide an informal, no-pressure forum for all real estate professionals to come on over and chat real estate with me and ask me your legal questions. I will answer them live in just a couple of minutes. So if you are here and you have questions, please, number one, say hello in the chat or in the comments below, but also go ahead and put your questions down in the comments below, and after a couple of brief announcements, I'll go ahead and address those. I was also emailed a question over the weekend to address today, so I do save those as well. So if you have questions during the week, you can DM us, you can shoot me an email, whatever's easiest for you works for us. So one of my goals in creating the firm back in 2015 was to find a way or a platform to educate the community, but really the real estate professionals working with buyers and sellers, both commercially and on the residential side. And one way that I'm able to do this is with these weekly Legal Lounge episodes. So please take advantage of it. As questions come up, sometimes is a formal consultation the preferred route? Yes, depending on the complexity of the issue, but if it's something that I can answer for you quickly, there's no need to go through all of those formal processes to get a meeting with me. I make myself available here every single week for you, so please utilize it. It's for you, and hopefully it helps. Hopefully you learn something here every week. So thank you all for joining. Again, as you join, make sure to go ahead and say hello in the comments below, and also as you have questions, make sure to go ahead and put those in the comments as well. A couple of quick announcements before I jump into the questions. First announcement is we took the plunge. We are officially on TikTok, which has been interesting for me, at least. I'm not part of the younger generation anymore, and so it definitely doesn't come natural to me. But if you would like a laugh, and you would like to kind of see us in a little bit more of a casual, fun, playful setting, check us out on TikTok. You can search for Martinez Love Law and we will come right up. Also, as you know, we are moving into a new office hopefully very shortly here, but with that we are looking to sublease our Wesley Chapel office space. So if you know of anybody, please reach out to me if you know of anybody that would be interested in that. September 1st, 10:30 is our next Get Real with Attorney Martinez. We will be having both Zoom and in-person options. The in-person option will be at our Wesley Chapel office location, and the topic will be deconstructing the Florida land trust. Florida land trusts are very underutilized in my opinion. I believe that is because either people don't know about them, or they're not really sure how they work, or they just are very unfamiliar and uncomfortable with them. But they're a great tool as far as holding title to real property, especially if you're holding investment properties. It is the number one tool that I recommend as far as holding title to investment properties, so you don't want to miss that. Again, that's September 1st at 10:30. And then finally, I just want to remind you all that all of these episodes that we shoot on Mondays are posted on our YouTube channel. So if you miss out on one or you want to go back and rewatch them, we post all of these there along with other video content that we shoot for other purposes. So it's becoming a really nice sized library of different topics and information that will hopefully help you out. So once again, thank you all for joining. Make sure to go ahead and say hello in the comments. Make sure to go ahead and put your questions in the comments. I'm going to go ahead and start addressing those now. I will start with the emailed question that I got, and so I'll go ahead and read that for you now. The question is, when a homeowner is getting work done on their home, whether it's a pool or an addition, what steps should a homeowner take to ensure that subcontractors have been paid and releases are signed? So I'm going to kind of address this question in a broader sense. But I want to run down a few best practices for homeowners when they are engaging a general contractor, whether that's to construct a home or like the question has it posed, making an addition or maybe adding a pool or something major, something of that sort. So the first thing that I can recommend is before you engage the services of a contractor, before you sign anything in writing such as a contract, make sure to do your homework. As a lawyer, of course, I see all of the negative experiences. I see the cases when things go wrong. So, is my opinion a little bit biased, or, my perception of things a little bit biased? Absolutely. But there are many, many people out there holding themselves out as general contractors, being hired and paid to perform work that they're not licensed to perform. That is illegal, that is a crime, but it happens a lot, especially in this market when it's very hard right now to find contractors that are available to do work in a timely fashion. It's created a lot of opportunity for people to take advantage of others. So you can go to the DBPR website online, or you can just Google, how do I check for a contractor's license, and it will come up for you. Make sure that they're licensed. If they're not, that's a huge red flag. For a project of this size that we're talking about today, I would not recommend going with somebody unlicensed. Also, check the web, check for reviews. If you can contact any prior or current customers of the contractor, ask for references, ask for current customers that you can speak to about the quality of work, about their customer service, about their timeliness. That's always a big complaint with contractors. So it takes more time, it takes more effort, but doing your homework on the front end is going to be well worth the time that it takes. Second best practice that I want to mention is get it in writing. Make sure that you have a written contract with your contractor. That sounds very basic and very obvious, but trust me, with the cases that I see, a lot of these things are happening verbally or over text message or a combination of both. You need to sign a formal contract with your contractor. They should be able to provide one if they are a professional company. My second tip along this same line would be have the contract reviewed by an attorney. I don't want to say most, a lot of these contracts that I see, of course, keep in mind, I see the cases where things go wrong, but a lot of the contracts that I see are DIY jobs. The contractor goes and Googles a few things and puts together a contract themselves and provides it to all of their customers. That is not going to protect anybody, especially not you or the customer. So make sure that you have a formal contract and you have it either professionally drafted or at a minimum reviewed by an attorney. Finally, as far as best practices, I would recommend to pay the contractor in stages or draws, as they're sometimes called, after receiving releases for that portion of the work to be done. You will have to pay something in all likelihood up front for them to get started, but to the extent you can break the payment out into phases and release the next payment once a release has been provided for the prior work that was done, that's going to be the best way to go. Because so long as your contractor still has money to earn or money to be paid, they're going to be incentivized to do the job, do it on time, do a good job, and then, of course, make sure that all of their subcontractors are being paid so that they can provide those releases to you. So those are my 3 top best practices when looking to hire a contractor for a job of that magnitude. Okay, again, just one more reminder, go ahead and say hello to me in the comments. The way that I'm viewing it here, I can't see who is attending, unlike on my phone, unless you comment. So I'd love to say hi to you. Please say hello in the comments if you can. Also, if you have any questions, make sure to leave them for me there. The last thing that I will address, unless we receive any questions in the comments, is the eviction moratorium. Yes, we're still dealing with it. Yes, it still exists in a little bit of a different format, but they were able to push through a new eviction moratorium. The biggest misconception with the eviction moratorium is that I cannot evict while the moratorium is in place. That is not true. Delia, hi, thank you so much for attending today. That is not true. There are very few evictions that the moratorium actually prohibits. It only applies to, we'll start with residential evictions. It only applies to evictions where the tenant has not paid rent. So that means that if the tenant's lease has expired, you can evict them. If the tenant has violated the lease in some way other than not paying rent, like an unauthorized pet in the home, damage to the home, not complying with HOA regulations and getting fines and assessments from the HOA. There's a multitude of things they could do to violate a typical lease. All of those things are fair game as far as an eviction goes. So in addition, even if we do have a residential tenant who has not paid their rent, there is probably a list of, just off the top of my head, maybe 6 or 8 requirements that a tenant has to meet before they fall under the protection of that eviction moratorium. And I will tell you that most tenants do not meet those requirements. The big one is that the tenant is at least paying partial rent every month to the extent of their ability. Most evictions that come into my office, the tenant hasn't paid anything, and it's been quite a long time since they've paid anything. Right there, they're not protected by the moratorium. So if you have questions about it, please contact us. I'd be happy to speak to you more in detail about it, but just know that yes, the eviction moratorium is still in place, but that probably doesn't prohibit you from evicting your tenant. There's a very small percentage of cases that it actually affects. So if anything, just shoot me a message, call our office. I'd love to evaluate your case and let you know whether you can move forward or not. And even if your particular case is subject to the moratorium, you can go ahead and take all the steps necessary to evict, with the exception of getting that final judgment. So you can set yourself up so that the minute the eviction moratorium does expire, you already have done all of the legwork and you're ready to get those tenants out. So you do have options. That's the big takeaway here. Last call for questions. I am not seeing any. Again, thank you all for attending. Make sure to like and share this video. Hopefully it has been educational and informational for you. Like I said, they will be reposted on YouTube, but if you could like and share it on Facebook as well, that would be greatly appreciated. We will be here again next Monday, same time, same place, 12 o'clock right here on Facebook Live. I hope you're all having a great start to your week, and I will see you next Monday.